So we're at Pang's house, joined by two legends in Queensland. Might not be the same scene without you guys here. Pang, aka Paul Angus, and Tom Hay, aka Elevate Trail Building. And so yeah, cheers for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us. Hey, it's
No problem at all.
Nice to be back.
Yeah, so I just wanted to have some yarns, see what everyone's been up to. Me and Pang wrapped up the downhill series a couple of weeks ago. And Tom Hay, you're always just building trails all over currently at New Zealand, but you're going to get back overseas pretty soon.
Yeah. Just digging holes and filling them back in, basically.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So Tom, Elevate Trail Building, how long have you been doing it yourself, trail building?
Trail building, probably.
Professionally, let's say.
Probably about 20 years, I think. 40 now.
And then who did you start with?
I was just kind of freelance phases. I worked with Phil Saxena, who used to do the UCI 4-cross. Did a couple of wee jobs with him, fought with him, and then BMX track in Middlesbrough, where we just got rocks thrown at us by the local kids.
So did you start trail building while you were back in England?
Yeah, I always just did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
I think, the reason I started doing it is because I live in York. It's flat as a pancake.
Yeah.
So like, if you wanted to ride somewhere, you had to build jumps.
Yeah.
It was an hour drive, and none of us had a car, so I was probably like 14 or 15. So we would just build jumps.
Did you start with like dirt jumping and then progress to the downhill stuff, or was it?
No, all at the same time, really. I think the first ride was probably a cross country ride out in Dolby Forest.
Yeah. Old Dolby.
Yeah, just a mate from school. I remember got me into it, and then and then just street riding. That's what you do, street riding, and then the jumps kind of probably came pretty close to that.
When did you know when you started mountain biking that there was like you could travel with it, or when did you realise that you could go somewhere to like Canada or New Zealand and
No, I don't think so.
pull it with you?
No,
When did that become?
I probably thought Dolby Forest was like an exotic location for the French Alps. No, I think I figured it out when we went to Leger on a week holiday with the lads.
Yeah, with the lads.
Golden
Morzine.
When was that?
Yeah.
What year was that?
Probably 99. I think it was right when we were about 18.
Yeah.
And we went there with James Hughes. You probably know him from
Yeah.
racing. Yeah, he was our guide. We went like on a guided trip, and we went for a week. And I was just like, "What the hell am I doing in England? This is way better." So,
Yeah.
yeah. In that winter, we just half of us who were on the trip did a ski season, and then we did the next summer.
Yeah.
And then just went back home, worked in between.
Because that was like way before I got into mountain biking. Was Europe kind of ahead of the time with the trails, would you say,
Yeah.
back then?
Just
Yeah.
the lift access, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's
And,
it. Yeah.
When you rode the J on Morzine, you're just blown away. Hey, just the length.
It was the first proper bike holidays you could go on, because I was the same age as when I went. I was about 18, and there was like a couple of companies started doing like trips where you could book accommodation and get like a lift pass sorted. And it was, that was very early days, but it was Leger Morzine was the place to go.
Yeah. Because
And,
when you went over Pang, were you chasing the race scene to start, or did you go on the holidays too to start with?
I'd started racing by then, but then the holiday was just somewhere to go and get some more riding in with mates, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did that probably 5 years in a row, and it was a good place to go training for the races.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you went there and came back, everything was pretty short and easy, and didn't get on pump.
Well, you go there and you learn to ride at 1,000,000 miles an hour, like on the Morzine trails. Then you get back to Innerleithen, where everything's like like super super tight and slow, but you're trying to ride it at the same speed.
Yeah.
Like, you just like crash your brains out. Yeah, because how narrow the trees are there. I think. Actually, I heard you talking about it on your podcast with Potsy and George.
Yeah, it was mega tight.
Yeah.
Did you were you racing at the time as well, Tom, when you started trail building?
Yeah.
So was that what brought you over that took you over there too?
No, not I raced in the UK. We did like the Northern Series,
Yeah.
which was
And that was downhill racing as well.
downhill. Yeah,
Was that the NAMS?
NAMS. Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably did some of those.
Couple.
Yeah, we did the NAMS. Where was that? Like Paisley Bridge and
Yeah.
Warncliffe, maybe. I don't know if Warncliffe, but yeah, and they were awesome. We used to race downhill heaps, and basically downhill and dirt jumping.
Yeah.
Didn't really trail ride.
Well, trail riding wasn't a thing. It was XC
it
riding,
was cross country riding. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
cross country ride.
but yeah,
no
as
helmet.
As soon as you started
Didn't need a
racing
helmet
downhill,
for
just
cross-country ride.
stop pedaling uphill.
Yeah.
And the downhills, we had a good scene. Hey, and all our mates did it. And
Did you guys know each other before coming to New Zealand as well? Had your paths crossed?
no,
Or was it only when
probably
you came?
they probably
Probably
have.
did, but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at old race sheets to see if there's anyone you recognise from it?
Payne was more big time than me. He was Scottish national champion in the clan. I was just a grommy.
I bet if we did find some NAMS results, I bet
Yeah,
there would
probably.
have been a few crossovers there.
Were you in pro class though?
I think I would have been. No, I think I would just been like senior.
I don't think I was even senior. I think I was
Still
still
junior.
under 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Juvenile.
Oh, I'll have to
Still a
try and
young
mix them
pup.
up.
Yeah. I think I got second in my last race at Gisborne, and then
Gisborne, that's
retired.
it. Yeah.
Where's Gisborne?
Was that like it was just like the
Peak
real
District
open
or
one
something.
in the Ferns? No,
No, that's Paisley Bridge.
that's right. Yeah.
No, it was in Forestry. Yeah, it's probably like about 2 hours from where I lived.
Yeah.
In York, and yeah, I think it was just a wet race, so
And what year are we talking there?
probably like 98, 99.
Oh, still.
Or maybe yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was 2000 is when I kind of started travelling,
Yeah.
I think, and then it was 19th birthday was my first ski season. Went overseas and then didn't really come back
Yeah.
too much in the summers. Yeah.
So how was the trail building when you started? Again, to say like it was professional with mountain biking being quite young, was it as much of a dark art as it is these days, or
I don't even know when it started being a job for people. Like, not for me. It wasn't for me back then.
Yeah.
I remember they started building a trail centre at Dolby Forest, and I was just like so into digging. I just hit up the guy. I went out. I think when they were just digging, and I asked them, and he was just like, "Who's this? Who's this idiot?"
Yeah.
I would have had no idea. I was like, "I can build you some jumps, some cool jumps with a shovel."
Yeah, from what I remember about trail building, like for doing the races in Innerleithen, like it was the local shop. The guys would just go up to the hill and they would build a track for the race, and that was kind of how the tracks came about. It wasn't
Yeah.
like anyone was up there getting paid to do it.
We did some
That's-
pirate stuff, but it wasn't
Yeah.
nothing that ever got used for a race. And then our jumps were just usually in town, and we just shovel
Yeah.
a bunch of us with shovels and no jobs.
Yeah.
Basically just stacking turf, and it was that sprung and earth era, hey, when
Yeah.
that's what everyone was doing.
And then when you went to first overseas trip was to Europe,
Yep.
and then from there that opened your eyes. And then where did that take you to? Was your next place America or Canada? after that, or-
Leger, Morzine for probably 3 summers and then 2 winters. And
Oh, so you stayed over there the whole time?
No, I'd come back in between and
Yeah.
work about 6 jobs to make enough cash. And then we went to Canada, Whistler in 2004.
Yeah.
And then with
Was the Whistler Bike Park open?
yeah,
then?
I think it was,
When did that open? Like around about 2000.
yeah, before then it was pretty well established. I think it was like the first or the second year of Garbanzo,
Yeah.
which is the upper zone.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember that was
Yeah.
they'd opened it the year before, and I remember they gave us like a sneak peek tour before we were working. I actually got a job on the trail crew.
So you were working for Whistler.
Yeah,
So-
that's I kind of got into it. Well, I'd done those few jobs with Phil Saxena and around the place. And I'm sure some other stuff, but I can't remember. But mostly just volunteer, just digging
Yeah.
for ourselves. Yeah, and I bumped into it was pre-season after when the snow started to melt. Went down to the village jumps in Whistler,
Yeah.
and then met up with this kid Alex Pro, who was the bike park manager's son.
Oh yeah.
Tom Pro. I didn't know this at the time, and then started riding down there with him, and then we did a bit of digging, and he just couldn't believe how good I was at digging.
Talk about a foot in the door.
Yeah, and then he was. I think it was just. I literally was just digging. I think he was just amazed I took the leaves out of the dirt. Yeah, but no,
What you have to do that?
Oh no, yeah, but no one then was building dirt jumps in Canada.
Yeah.
It was all skinnies and just skid
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's like is it Rome was like one of the first videos I think I watched, and there's I think it might be Darren Beckel maybe, but anyway, it's like a free ride and he's sat on this North Shore skinny that he's like knocking up in the woods, and it's like a aerial shot, and like the terrain underneath looks like the loamiest, like best stuff to ride. They've got
Yeah,
like these
it's
big long
probably
skinnies
tops.
above it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
a way
yeah.
to like
Yeah.
good terrain.
No, that's exactly how it was. Yeah, no, that's what did us a favour. No one was building jumps, like dirt jumps anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were building big senders and cheese wedges out in Kamloops. But then,
But they had A-line.
they had A-line, yeah, but that was different. That was built by all like the snowboard park crew.
Right.
Like the trail crew then was basically the park crew in the winter.
Mm.
Just came over and was it A-line? I don't know what it's like. I haven't been there for a while, but it was all cheese wedges, like step down lips, wasn't it? Like
It's mellow, yeah.
like a snowboard booter. But even like the step down takeoff.
Had you spent much time in Whistler? Pen, as well?
Yeah, probably about 3 or 4 trips. Yeah.
Mm.
I was just looking, just being a bit of it's a bit of research for you while you guys are talking. It opened in the summer of 1999.
Oh, did it?
There you go. But yeah, we same thing. Like after we sort of did our France trips, it was like Whistler was the place to go.
Next step,
Like,
yeah.
it was like that's just what you heard about, so you had to go. Had a few friends that'd been, and we'd go at the end of the race season as well. Once, typically sort of tag it on to the end of like a World Cup trip or whatever if we're over in that way anyway. So
Yeah.
that's usually what we'd do, and stay for a week or two.
Because
We basically just ride dirt merchant and like
yeah.
nothing else.
We loved all the tech. We'd ride car bands.
We were just over it by then. We just wanted to ride jumps.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I guess you didn't have the whole jumps in Europe
No,
scene. so much.
nothing.
Oh, they were way above. Even now, I think the jumps in Europe. I'm sure some bike parks are good, but even Leger and Morsey, they're not great.
Yeah, I think Chattel's getting there. They've got a pretty good crew with a few guys there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, Canada was definitely way ahead in that.
Just and you can still see it on the videos now.
Yeah.
Have you been?
To Whistler?
Yeah.
No, I've not made it to Whistler yet. It was on the cards for the last couple of years, but obviously couldn't get over there. It'll happen at some point. I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Not this year.
No, not this
sure?
year. Oh, maybe. I don't know. But I'm never in too much of a rush. There's plenty of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty special place. Hey, it's awesome. It's kind of just a yes place.
Yeah.
A bit like here, everyone's there to have fun, and it's a real season as place, so everyone is there just in a kind of low-paying job, just riding their bikes and skiing. So
I guess, because that was, like I was saying before this, I don't have many questions loaded up, but I was thinking, because you spent, how many seasons did you spend in Whistler in the end?
I think 5 summers.
5 summers, and then you came to Queenstown after that?
No, I was kind of,
It was back and
like,
forth?
I think 2 solid years in Whistler and then back and forth
Yeah.
in the summer to summer, because I was running out of visas.
Yeah.
in Whistler, or ran out of visas in Whistler.
Well, the question I had to that was what made it, like everyone kind of compares the two. Actually, something I want to get rid of is everyone calling Queenstown the Whistler of the Southern Hemisphere. It's like my biggest hate.
Yeah.
I want it, it is its own thing. But what made you end up, I guess you could have gone either way.
Well, yeah, I probably couldn't with visas there.
Oh, really?
Not saying that it was because of visas. It was, I met Jo.
Oh, yeah,
And
the love.
That was a big difference, the love.
Love
Yeah.
brought you here.
Yeah, and then she got me a visa, so. No, she's obviously awesome and a big part. But
Yeah.
we kind of hit it off and kind of formed a life here. But Whistler's awesome, but Queenstown's more of a real city, not city, but town, isn't it? Do you think it's not just the biking and skiing? There's heaps more to it.
Yeah.
You're not, and in the winter, you're not haven't got snow all around, so
Yeah.
which is a good thing,
You've
and a bad thing. So everyone gets after other stuff.
I think that's a little bit of a hidden secret is the riding in Queenstown is year round. The bike park obviously closes, but the riding you can still access where the snow's above it is actually still.
Yeah, well, at least you got the option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the riding's still really good as well. The riding in winter is almost like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to say better than summer because
it's better than when it's
there's-
dusty.
there's a lot of things that are pretty boggy, but some of the conditions throughout winter are nicer than in the middle of summer
Yeah, I
sometimes.
think,
Yeah,
that's the Brit,
Totally,
I think
yeah.
it's the Brit talking.
maybe.
Likes the mud, yeah.
But
Because there was a time.
it's not too muddy in winter though, I don't think.
No, it's nice. Yeah, it's not too slippy here either.
Yeah.
No, compared to some places.
Mm.
But yeah, just that Queenstown. It's just a real good vibe. Hey, so many awesome people and so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's becoming less transient, I think. Maybe COVID helped with that in the last couple of years, but I think it makes it quite hard living anywhere when it's so transient because you make good relationships and then they, disappear.
Yeah, that's
Whereas-
cool as well though, because then you get a fresh influx of stoked people every year.
Oh yeah, and it helps when you go overseas.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
got
you
mates all over the
bump
place.
into
Yeah,
people all over the world. So it's also not a bad thing, but it does make it hard to settle down yourself. I think when you're constantly having to find,
yeah,
if you do find it hard to have that people leaving all the time, it is quite tough in a transient town. But I quite like it for that because I quite like meeting people.
it's gonna be interesting what happens now the borders are opening, because it's been like a real strong local crew for the past
Yeah,
Yeah.
few years, and like even you already see it now. Everyone like advertising their rooms who are going overseas, and
Yeah, it's been weird.
some people are actually leaving to go and do the Whistler thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or like even long term. So
It was quite nice, like the last 2 years, because you couldn't go anywhere, so it was quite nice. You didn't have to stress about having to travel, and you knew everyone was going to be here for a couple of years. And I think that kind of, laid a good a lot of people sort of probably laid roots down here in
Yeah.
the last few years, and
Yeah.
it's made the community a lot stronger, I think, like
yeah.
you said.
And people
Really
staying for
strong.
winter made them realise that maybe it's not as bad as they think.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like everyone says. Yeah.
And what I feel like I saw, and you guys might see it differently because, like I say, you've been here a long time and been in the crew, and I feel like still pretty new to everything. But I think I got maybe turned up at kind of a midpoint of getting really busy. So you had like the OG Queenstown guys, and then a lot of new faces rolling into town, then moving out. And I found it.
Yeah.
I think for some people they found it quite hard. And this last year, with everyone being like the faces have become more familiar, you've had a lot of that old school crew coming back out of the shadows a bit and like
Yeah,
immersing
well,
back into the
I think you're
new
right,
scene.
yeah.
It's the start of the season, isn't it? When you're like, well, you haven't been in the bike park for a couple of weeks, and then you're like, who are these? Who
Yeah.
are those people? I don't know.
Well, that's what I used to hear because we've got like the end of the season party, and we'd have like I feel like I've kind of came at a good crossroads, so I got to meet quite a lot of the original crew, and then I'm working at the bike park. You get to meet everyone,
you'll know.
so every new
Yeah.
face. So I get to know every face, and I get to the party, and I'd always have people like, I don't know half the people here, and then every year it would become like, I don't know 3/4 of the people there, and then they'd turn up and be like, I don't know anyone here. Whereas like in the last 2 years now, that's something I've not heard anymore because everyone has had.
You've got to keep current there. You've got to keep your social calendar
Yeah,
pretty stacked.
yeah. There's a lot of events to do.
Yeah, there is.
But
No,
but yeah, I
that's a
think
good point.
that's what I know. I feel like there's a lot of. It has brought
Yeah,
that.
but there's so many awesome
old and new.
different groups, and if you know one person from each group, then you kind of eventually know everyone from each one. And then you can't really go to Atlas or the bike park without bumping into people.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's pretty cool.
So with the borders opening, you'll be because you've worked on the Crankworks circuit for a few years now. Oh, how many years? I guess. Elevate.
I did a few with John Cowan, who
Kona
is an
Cowan.
old school free rider. Well, yeah, he's kind of retired now, but he was free ride New Order Disorder kind of poster boy back in, I don't know when his career would have started, super early, in probably late 90s, yeah. And then I started working with him in 2005 on the slopestyle. Same thing with any dudes who know how to dig. Me and this other guy, Martin Astley, who now runs Bike Park Wales. Yeah, we were kind of came as a pair and just dug for him for. I think I did 5 years with him in the boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowschwitz used to call it.
I actually I heard about the boneyard because I was listening to a podcast with Brendan Semnock the other day, and your name actually came up talking about boneyard, and they elevate jumps and whistler as well.
Yeah, well, when I
Which-
got there, he was like 13 or 14, and he was good friends with Alex Pro, who we met down the jumps.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
recognise that name.
Yeah, he's just this little kid who's cross country racer who could do 360s and no foot cans and stuff. And then I remember watching him and Alex would always come to all the comps, and they would just ride. They were 13 or 14, and they wouldn't ride in the comp, but they'd ride afterwards.
Yeah,
And then everyone would be like, "Who are these kids?" Just shredding afterwards. Yeah,
better than
and
the
then-
people competing.
Yeah, and then they both just got better and better and better. Yeah.
So we've gone back to the Crankwork stuff. So you, where's next? Are you got heading because we've got Innsbruck, which will be the next Crankworks tour. Are you heading over there pretty soon for that stuff? Or
No,
are you gonna
because
make that
I guess
one?
because of COVID, a bit of a byproduct was they had to get local crews in, so
Yeah,
it was just maintenance the last 2 years, and it is again this year.
yeah,
So they're just using the local dirt jump crew, which makes sense because obviously it's way cheaper than
yeah.
getting an overseas crew in. And that's cool because I was done Austria for a few years, so
Yeah.
looking forward to somewhere new. So
So where you're off to?
yeah, Crankworks Cairns coming up. So
Oh,
that
we can
is-
officially say it now.
Well, he dropped the exclusive the other week.
Yeah,
Jimmy Ramsey.
yeah. Come here for
Talkin Turkey.
the newest news.
Dropping bangers.
So you're off to Cairns. How long is that going to be? So what build have you got on over there? You slope style course.
Yeah, I think we're just doing the slope style. Well, it's
Yeah.
a full build, but I think we've also got Rotorua new courses to build there. So
Oh, sick.
yeah, so it's going to be a tight schedule this year. So we got new speed and style. Pretty much everything at Rotorua is getting rebuilt.
Yeah.
'Cause it's been the same for the past. Well, wee tweaks and stuff on the slope style and everything really, but you can't really change too much without just moving stuff around. So
Yeah.
it's a full. We're just going to kind of bowl it this year and make a fresh start.
Bit of a rubbish question, but it wouldn't be right if I didn't ask it. But how do you go about making a new slopestyle track? Do you have like a plan? Like you know the site and before you go? Do you have a plan in mind? Like
Um,
before you get there, for say Rotorua, you've been there a few times, and Cairns, have you been to Cairns and seen the location already? Or?
Yeah, I went there about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and yeah, because they can send you all the pictures and the Google Earth info and stuff, but you've got to be there and see it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went there, and it's a pretty cool site. It's basically where the bottom of the World Champs course comes out.
Yeah, I've never been to Cairns myself. But
No,
yeah.
neither have I. But you kind of come out to where the finished corral is,
Looks like a big
basically.
paddock.
Up on the right, yeah, there's a pretty good slope for that's where all the speed and style and slope style and everything's going to be. It's half of it's in rainforest, so they're going to
Yeah.
thin that out.
Do you go off? Do you like draw a few pictures or whatever beforehand, and
Yeah.
or are you more just like? Do you just have it in your head? And
Nah, you've got
few
to
measurements?
you've got to design, because you don't just build it from the top to bottom, so you kind of need to
Yeah.
design it, measure it all out, and then you need to mark it before you build. So
Yeah.
that you might start at the bottom and build up, because just the way the hill works or the access works.
Yeah.
So, and usually like Innsbruck and Cairns, they need technical drawings and permissions and stuff, so you can't
Oh,
just
to get happy.
turn up and go, oh, I'm going to build some cool jumps.
Yeah. Because building jumps is still, I guess, like a bit of a dark art. You know, there's not like you can't go to college and learn how to do it.
No, it's a combo, I think, of measurements and like IP, I guess, and then
Yeah. What do you mean by IP?
intellectual property, I guess.
What you know?
Yeah. So at the start, obviously, everyone's making it up. I think
Yeah.
no one's, at the beginning, everyone makes it up, and then you take notes on what works and what doesn't, and then
And what do you look for? Do you look for a jump where you need no brakes, no pedals,
yeah, the whole course.
and that's your sort of
Yeah, the whole course should be like pretty brainless to ride, really. I think. I know that maybe is going to change a wee bit, because when me and Kelly started building courses, we tried to simplify it.
yeah.
So there was a kind of a time there where there was just like no full runs. Everyone was just crashing, weren't they? And it was cool, but like it wasn't. It just gets frustrating when no one got to the bottom.
Yeah.
So we were like, right, we're going to build courses that people can get to the bottom and do their banger tricks on. I think we did it at Tiva Slopestyle in town. But the first kind of gold level course we did was in Colorado, and Winter Park Freeride Festival.
Yeah. I don't know it, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's a gold. I actually worked there before with John Cowan. It used to be a Crankworks stop.
And was that like so? That's like the gold stop. So that's what people can get points for to ride in the
So
slope
a lot of
style
the
stuff?
top riders would go there to get points for the Diamond.
Yeah.
Crankworks tour. So it's still a pretty big event. You still get all the top guys. But yeah, the first one we did there, we were like, right, we're just going to make it so people get the banging runs down. So we kind of simplify it, which is cool at the time. I think it's getting a bit dull. The recipe needs a bit changed now.
Yeah, but how again, like finding that perfect formula for a jump. Again, having you and Kelly is probably quite a good, because you're quite short and Kelly's massive. So again, surely his rolling speed is going to be a lot different to your rolling speed, and to find something where you can drop in.
Yeah.
Or
I think
is there a
there's a bit of a compromise with that kind of thing.
yeah?
But
Find a happy medium. If he's coming up short and you're going too long,
yeah, I think the key.
perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Or vice versa.
Speciality, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. No, it was an awesome combo, with Kelly, because obviously he did the wood and he knew he'd ridden so many courses.
Yeah.
Like he knew good ones and bad ones, and just had like he was super passionate about slopestyle and making it awesome. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool doing it with him. Like it'd be pretty handy to have him this year for Cairns.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Mm.
But he always just said, like, especially with Rotorua, he's like, let's make this one just game changing.
Yeah.
Trying to make everyone doing double flips instead of single flips and 720s and stuff, which I think we
Sick.
achieved.
Yeah.
But I would say to Pang too. I think the beauty of our courses sometimes is they're so easy to ride.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the greatest rider in the world, and if I can get down like confidently,
Yeah.
then the top dudes can do like their best tricks on them.
Will that be your gauge?
Like you guys could ride down them
Yeah.
Rotorua easily.
Yeah.
You just go and drop it.
I don't know about easily. I reckon there'd probably be a bit of soil in my pants at the top.
After that, the first drop is pretty scary, but once you've got that, you're away. Yeah. But when you're building, you're always looking at stuff and just envisioning it, and like how you ride it and how it's going to work. And we usually I like to bulk everything out to like 80%.
Yeah.
And not shape anything until you've like you actually have to. And then you've been around it for a couple of weeks and you just really visualize it.
Yeah. And then with the measurements, so is that something, have you got, you don't have to share it, but have you got say there's like 20-meter long double? Do you know how? Have you kind of got it in yourself? Like, you know how big you want the lip, and
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
pretty
already.
much. Yeah, we'll always go through after an event and measure and.
So you have a bit of a formula.
And then try and improve every time.
Yeah.
I think Tom's been a bit modest here in his riding ability. That's one of the cool things about what he does is he can ride all the courses, which I think speaks volumes and probably does help as well to get.
Yeah, but I don't think I would ride them if I hadn't built them. I don't know if I'd be interested. I think I'd turn up to Joyride and ride that.
Yeah.
If I hadn't built it, just because you just know, you know.
Yeah.
You build them easy so you can ride them. So.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be the ask. Is like, how long can you? Is that going to be it until you stop riding them?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I've been asking myself a wee bit too lately. 40 years old, so yeah, I don't know
still going
how
pretty
many more I
good.
do having them. But luckily, a couple of boys on the crew who are shredders, Jai
Still got
and
cans in you, don't you?
yeah, I think so. Well, 2 this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see after that.
You just don't stop bucking that.
That's
Right.
all right.
Never
Enjoying
stop,
Mini
never
Dream
stop.
actually the last couple of weeks. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Since the rain came, Mini Dream's been on.
Everything's good when the rain comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, changes. It's like riding 2 tracks around here, especially with like the peak of summer with the big dust bowl we got to now. It's like a totally different place to ride.
It's been pretty epic lately. Yeah.
I feel like this is the best I've ever been able to ride dust in my entire life this summer.
Yeah.
I actually got to grips with it. It's quite funny.
Grips with
After
it.
15 years of living here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you finally got the V10.
Maybe
As
that's
well.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, that's it. The dream bike.
Dream bike. I know. I need one of those now. After that last downhill race, I think mine's going on your wall at the shop. Yeah. But yeah, I should update the downhill bike and she's trying to persuade Pang and you should come too to the Masters World Champs and.
So most,
You're probably not old enough.
No, I'm
Right,
still too young. How old do you have to be to be Masters?
35.
35.
It's
No,
a
I've
30 plus as well, isn't it? 30 to
I looked the
35.
other day, I thought it was 35, but it's in Argentina.
Yeah, oh.
It looks
good.
good.
Yeah, I've got a couple of years, but I think I might just out of being stubborn. Oh, I guess for the Masters, doesn't matter. I'm thinking of the local series.
Oh.
I don't think when I do have the opportunity to move to the next class, I think I'll try and
It's gonna
stay in
stay.
That's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Good. That's good for
Yeah,
us.
Shawnee.
the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like it's a bit more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, we just wrapped up the downhill. How did you think it went this year, Pang? It's pretty happy. We had some pretty like massive grum numbers. I think it was pretty. I felt like downhill is back in Queenstown.
Yeah.
Like I think it took like a bit of a lull, like with like a few people maybe just like getting it, like, or even just buying trail bikes or getting over it. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people bought downhill bikes, and apart from Tom Hay.
No, they did. Didn't they?
Yeah.
There was a few of the OGs coming out the closet and buying new downhill bikes and getting involved in the races and loving it as well. It was awesome to see this year. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool just to have a chat about the race series.
Yeah.
Just so people get a bit of an understanding of what goes into it and maybe where it's come from as well. And
Yeah, absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Because I think, well,
yeah.
it's like just races, and like I think I don't even know where I'm going with what I'm saying, but like the races for me, that's like part of the reason I'll ride fast. I think without knowing there will be a race, I don't think I'll bother riding fast because it's not.
Yeah, and the training.
And the
Even
training.
just everything, yeah. You need an event, something to aim for, don't
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And yet, but riding fast for me is also like one of the best feelings that I'll get on a bike, but without
But
the
you need a
competitive
reason.
edge to it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do need the reason to do it. But yeah, this year I think was one of the best in numbers we've seen for a few years. Again, especially from the younger categories, which is real cool. And I think we're going to see hopefully a lot of pretty fast riders coming out of Queenstown, because we haven't really had, all the fastest Kiwis. I don't think anyone's actually come out of Queenstown, have they? They're all actually North Island boys.
Yeah, but it's got to. Yeah,
So-
you guys have done an awesome job. It's got to be one of the better race series around, probably.
I think it's
casual, but also like top level tracks.
well. I think the
Occasion
price is
man
right.
riders, Yeah, yeah, and the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. It
Yeah,
doesn't need to be expensive to be good, does it? So.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that money, it doesn't go to us. It goes to the mountain bike club as well. Which, how much did we end up raising this year for the club?
But just over 11 grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was including it. How much prize money did they get at the last race as well? Came out quite a bit. It's a big race these days.
And well, we did put some money back in, about $1,200
Yeah.
out of that
So-
out of that purse that we made. Yeah, and we've got a few more expenses now, like with Perrin. Yeah,
We've got medic.
that's a couple of grand over the season, and stuff like that. But it's 100% worth it to
Mm.
have her there. 'Cause she's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you'll agree.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think she just turned up anyway. I've never been into an event where a parent isn't there.
Yeah.
She just shows up. Hey.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Well, you
yeah,
look at the
yeah.
picture in Rotorua tomorrow, and she'll be up there, and then she'll be at one in Dunedin tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's brought a professional and good energy to the series, and kind of makes me relax a bit more knowing she's there. Probably you as
Oh,
well.
absolutely. Yeah.
So we sort of used to wing it the first few. Well, yeah, I guess the first several years actually.
Yeah. We just ran it with our fingers crossed for for a bit.
I know.
But I'm first aid trained.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
give you CPR.
It all works out.
But I guess the race series probably has originally started. So before the mountain bike club, you guys actually probably two mint people to talk about this. What was it? The League of Gentlemen was the OG Queenstown.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Seb Kemp, who now lives in, where is he?
He's in Whistler.
Whistler,
Yeah.
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 He, good friend of ours, he started that League of Gentlemen series. It was $2 every, is it weekly? No, it was just kind of random through the summer. It was about 6 through the summer, but yeah, it was awesome, low key. But back then, yeah, the scene was a bit smaller, so it was probably about 20 or so people each one. And
Yeah.
all sorts of like enduro, before enduro was a thing.
Yeah.
And then
What was it? What?
just ran,
Just
it wasn't
mountain
even-
biking.
It's just mountain biking.
Das Super D's you would call it as well down Skyline.
Uber
Now.
D's,
You'd have like one you've organised before. You have like a downhill track and you have to pedal back up the road down another bit.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
You'd always finish at a bar as well.
Yeah, and it was always just self-timed, and
Yeah.
the motto was cheaters cheat themselves.
Yeah.
So everybody won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tim Chetch was pretty hard to keep the reins on, is he?
I just did a trials comp with him yesterday, and he was scoring me. So
Oh, was he?
I picked the wrong guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the. I mean, it was a small scene, and that kind of was the only kind of racing there was really.
Yeah. And what sort of events did you have at that? Because I think I've seen some videos, and you used to finish at
Revolver.
Revolver, which is now the strippers, isn't it?
Club 88, yeah, Club
Yeah.
88.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't strippers then either, eh?
No.
I'm sure you boys got naked in there a few times.
I've definitely seen his son, Matty's brother's penis in there a few times.
This was Rachel Atherton, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. That was his move on Rachel Atherton.
Was it?
Get his penis out.
I guess it didn't pay off for him
Safe to
then.
say, no. Yeah, but there was like slalom down on Frankton Beach.
Oh,
We
that's
do
right,
we
yeah.
do like an away legs. We go over in Alex and did one over there, didn't we?
Oh yeah, it did then.
And
Yeah, it was.
then but lots of stuff at Skyline, like a rally race and 7 mile.
Yeah.
Really
The
railing rally race.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Rally race, how did that work? So, because that's kind of what enduros are now. You have
Yeah, it
stages
almost
and
was an
liaisons
enduro.
in between.
I
So,
remember buddy Joe Barnes beat his all on his downhill bike.
Oh,
7 mile.
that's right.
Yeah.
so that was like, so what was that? Just stages?
That was
And did Chris Balls, was he ever here?
Yeah, but after
Cathro-
that, yeah.
Cathro.
So he
Yeah.
stole your idea.
yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, Chris
yeah.
Ball, you need to get a royalty
I
off
did see him
that
with a
guy.
note-
Yeah.
Zero
I
started
saw him
here,
with
yeah.
a notepad hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I'm sure he knows Joe
Yeah.
Barnes got it because everyone was Chris Ball and MTB cut at the time.
Oh no,
And that-
no, that wasn't. No,
Is
that was
that
Joe and that was Cathro.
Cathro is here.
Yeah, Chris
But-
Ball was on Mojo.
Mojo.
Mojo Orange. Yeah.
Well, Ben Caffro was on Mojo before MTB cut.
Yeah. Or after.
That's it.
Hmm. What?
We need to get in on. Well, you guys do. EWS owes you probably a bit of money, I reckon, for the royalties.
Yeah.
Rally.
Probably longer stages than 7 mile.
Sorry. Well, so you had the rally 7 mile.
Oh yeah, there was like
That
random pump track
pump track,
events
yeah.
and
Pump track at Gorge Road. And then, because we built that in like 2 days or something. At the end. Told
Yeah.
Nath we were going to build a pump track, and he's like, no one even knew what one was, did they? He's like, how long is it going to take you? Well, I don't know, a day or two. No, what?
Yeah.
And it was good.
You've probably seen Gorge Road progress quite a bit over the last few years as well, going on a tangent.
Yeah, when we first came, it was just the right lines,
yeah,
wasn't it?
just the kids line down the road.
Pang
Yeah.
was here before me, weren't you? You were
Mm.
a couple of years.
That was cool though, like, because I don't know, there was fun sessions down there because anyone could ride it. You could ride on any bike.
Yeah.
See people on the downhill bike and
Yeah.
or whatever. Just like
you
'Cause
know,
they were just small jumps, and it was just fun. Yeah, the wall ride was always there, which is gone now.
Yeah.
And they had like a wooden spines, remember? As
Yeah,
well,
just to the
and stuff
side.
like that. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then Magaza was the celebrity. Hey, when you
Yeah.
come down and do some backflips and,
Yeah.
and Brett through. But yeah, first year I moved here, I lived in an apartment across the road.
From Gorge.
In that little retail complex.
Oh, yeah.
And like a one
Oh
bed,
yeah.
single bed, and the room about the same size as a single bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would just ride there every day. Hey.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of it on Not Bad. That
That
video was way after.
That was after the rebuild. Yeah.
Yeah, way. But but I didn't know that was here because when I came to Queenstown, I didn't know what the riding scene was at all here.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think? You didn't know?
No, not really.
No?
I almost didn't even bring my bike.
What?
Yeah, because I
Why
didn't. I was coming travelling, and I
You
was
just-
like,
Oh,
the
really?
bike was going to be a bit
You used to on a lads
inconvenient.
trip, World Bar every night.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I was lads on tour by myself.
Bungee jumping.
And no, I just was. I talked to a friend, and they'd said about the riding here, but I was originally just going to come for a bit of travel, and I think I was going to stay in Christchurch to start with, and then roll down to Queenstown. But I talked to a friend who was there, and he was pretty vague as well. I was like, "What's the riding like?" He's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." I was like, "Should I bring my bike, or should I just get it sent over later?" And he's like, "Oh, maybe bring your bike. Yeah, it's pretty good."
Yeah.
I got here.
Back then, I think it was quality over quantity, like for the time.
Mm.
Like Gorge Road, even though it was only those lines, it was still like really like probably the best jumps in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They were only small. And then Dream Track, obviously like way ahead of its time. Mini Dream, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Nathan Lance and those guys who got all that built and all logistics and stuff. Yeah, they're ahead of their time. Hey. And
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think when I came from Whistler, where I kind of got back into trail riding there, and came here, there was nothing really for trail riding. It was like Zoot Track and Fernell Loop.
Yeah.
It's like a
7
couple
mile.
7 mile trails there. There's nothing.
And that was
yeah.
it. Yeah. So it was like, well, you basically just brought a downhill bike and a hardtail when you came
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Didn't even bother with the.
Yeah, because I didn't
Travel.
realise that G. Ethert and Stevie Smith thing was filmed here. I didn't realise that Not Bad was here. I didn't really read anything. I just saw like clips.
That's cool though.
Yeah, and when somebody told me that Gorge Road was that place from Not Bad, I was like, really?
That's really funny.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
cool.
oh,
I like to do that. I like to go somewhere and know not much about it.
Yeah.
Don't look at any pictures. Or
Yeah, but I couldn't have landed on like a better place, really.
Yeah. You might have
I
ended up
actually had no idea what New Zealand was like. I just thought it was like it's flat, like a big flat island full of sheep.
Oh,
like
yeah.
literally, I thought that's all it was.
Oh, is that where you came?
Yeah. But yeah,
What,
it's
your Velcro
no
gummies?
idea. I just tagged on to some of my mates' holiday basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came with a girl on a bit of an overseas trip, but for the riding as well. A couple of Ginge and mate Paolo had come over year before from Whistler, and then they came back just for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Foz, I think.
So back to the downhill stuff. So it started with League of Gentlemen, which I guess eventually did that turn into the club when you needed to?
No,
Try-
Seb
That was
moved
just a
away,
separate thing.
and then he handed it over to Graham Cooper,
Yeah.
who, not through Graham's choice, I don't think. He did a good job, but Seb was like, I want you to do this.
Yeah.
'Cause he'd been helping out with it, and Graham was like, okay, did it.
Yeah.
And he did a good job, and then I think he moved on as well.
Yeah.
And then that was about the time probably Jimmy maybe took over the race. I ran a DHSS race, Downhill Southern Series,
Yeah.
and I realised that I should
You-
never organise a race again.
Oh, did you? Whereabouts?
Skyline,
Right.
I was just completely overcommitted. I had a second-hand parts sale at the bottom of the Gondi. Do you remember that?
No.
I was just because I think they did it in Whistler, and I was like, like the ski sales at the start.
Yeah, they go.
We should do like a buy, sell, and swap thing at the bottom of the Gondi.
Yeah. Did you have like big grand
Organised
plans?
that, and then the guy from Jamie Greenaway was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, do you want to host a race too?" And I was like, "Yes, easy." I'll do both of those, and then Fraser and James Clark absolutely bailed me out. They, I just kind of
Fraser is
tried
the
to
man
do
if you need
tried to do
anything
everything
organised.
myself, and I think they realised I was a bit of a sinking ship, and
Yeah.
came in and helped me, and never organised a race since. But that was a good learning curve. The old stopwatch timing system, which you probably refined, I think,
So-
but I didn't.
Well, and you have to see because the downhill subcommittee formed in 2012 with so Fraser was on the main committee at the
Yeah.
time, and then it was Jimmy, this guy Corey Mullen, and John Queenstown Bike Taxis. John.
Yeah.
They formed the downhill subcommittee, and then they started the race series in 2012.
Yes,
I think it would have
I
been
think I
that
would have done the
year.
one before that.
Before that,
11.
Right, because the bike park opened in 11.
Okay.
2011.
Yeah, I think it was 11 there. I think they had like a trial maybe in 2010 or something.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
one
we were
of
looking at
those.
because it was our 10th year last year.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realise, that the bike park wasn't always a bike park. There was trails up there, but you weren't allowed on a lift for first. You were probably here for 5 years, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I got here in like 2008, so it was a bit of a tease. You'd have well, not all the trails, but there was probably 5 or 6 trails up there: World Cup and Vertigo and Hobbit and.
Ants track and yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
guys could
but-
probably tell me better than what I know with even with the Skyline starting up, because originally you had to get your bikes on the freight deck, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what we did. Did you? You were at Vertigo when we were doing that
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So we could do guided trips. And we could take 5 people, plus us as
Yeah.
the guide. Yeah, you could do we could do 3 laps, 2 or 3 laps. And that was it.
Really? That's
But you had to wait for
exclusive.
the-
But it was-
You
yeah.
had to put the bikes on a tray,
Yeah.
strop them, and then you'd wait on one of the lift guys to put it on the.
Yeah, but we were like last priority. There'd be like rotten fish would be like before us. The
Oh,
bins, the
it
bins
was,
would get
yeah.
before. Sorry guys, the bins are here. You can't go. Out.
Oh, it's good to hear
painful.
nothing's
So sometimes
changed.
you'd have to wait for like multiple laps of the cart to come down. And
Yeah.
It take 4 hours to do 2 runs, which is
yeah.
that's a bit normal now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the boys need to pull their finger out up there, eh? Slacking down there. We'll call the boss Shikar. We'll get him.
yeah. And the only track we could go down, Tim built Vertigo, which is Lazy Vertigo now,
Yeah.
which is, until this year, was still pretty similar to how it was when he built it. And then went down, was a track went down a sort of like Grundy area,
Original.
and then it went down alongside where
yeah.
Vertigo is now.
Under
Hakia,
Hakia.
under Hakia, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then went down Original from halfway, which is just like I think it was
line.
actually just it wasn't even a track, it was like a walking track.
Yeah, it was just a straight
It's like
line.
straight
of break bumps.
break bumps.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually pretty cool because you used to be able to double or triple, or if you dared try and quad some
Oh,
of
there
those
was some
bumps.
scary
some
ones,
sketchy
yeah.
gaps
You
to
didn't
get
wanna
down
get
there.
wrong,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was that step down, step up, which Tim always loved to. He'd get the customers to go down and watch him do it. He's like, just do that, guys. And it's like,
Just watch me.
Pattern.
Yeah. No, it was cool. And the Huck of Doom. Me and Ginger would always do the Huck of Doom on our trips. Guiding. Yeah.
You can get the guest to hold the camcorder.
Yeah, no, you wait till they went and then you give it a go and it made it. I still like to pride myself on the only Vertigo guide to never have any injuries.
Oh really?
So once my own, I popped my shoulder out once on skippers. And it went back in, but I had to get Mike to drive. That's a ride. But yeah, you should get Ginge on ask him about his guiding
Oh yeah.
God, yeah,
trips, yeah.
pretty fun.
But no, that was awesome working with these guys and
Yeah.
a couple of years guiding.
Because how long were you at Vertigo for? You were. So was Pang your boss at that? Were you?
No.
When did you? Was Tim the original Vertigo owner, and then you've come in? Yeah.
No, when Tom was there, I was just working with Tom.
You were with Tom.
I was his boss.
You were
Yeah,
his
yeah,
boss.
correct.
Yeah, he was watching you
No,
twisting spanners.
you were pretty much you were definitely the top dog, apart from Tim, but maybe more.
I was just more sort of helping run things a bit, but yeah.
So 2012, the race
Yeah.
series was born, I guess.
It was, yeah, and that's so.
And it started off a bit different to what it is now, because you were saying it was around town originally.
It wasn't just up Skyline. They had a 5-round series, which was all, so they'd use Remarks track, Wynyard.
Wynyard Express.
I think they always had 2 or 3 up Skyline, but they just used some of the other tracks. They had the Wynyard Worlds and stuff.
Coronet had some nationals, but I think that was done. Coronet was open for a couple of years and then closed again.
Yeah,
Around 2000, around then, wasn't it?
yeah.
Because it was when I first 2008 it was open,
Yeah.
and then I think it closed for a few years and then opened again pretty recently.
Yeah, it's good up there now. Gee.
Yeah.
You've got a full-time crew.
Yeah, more tracks.
Keep that track together. But that track's been there for a long time, though, isn't it? The Coronet.
Pretty much
Well-
almost month since I was first moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped build the XC track, and then I think the downhill track was already there. I think maybe, or was it the year? I think they did the XC track first, and the downhill track. So that's 06
Yeah.
that got put in.
It's the tracks that have stood up to time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
All
think
the ski
people
fields
still
had
love
tracks.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's cool.
Still gets a lot of edits.
Yeah, well, it's pretty dreamy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Get it
Cardrona
in
had
the
a
first
track even before I moved here as well. They had raced
Yeah.
nationals up there, sort of treble cone.
Treble cone, yeah.
They also they're all kind of there, but it was just a bit early for it. There wasn't really the scene.
Yeah.
Just the
Yeah.
getting up there was was the mission.
Was the national scene when you guys got here stronger than what it is now, do you think? Or do you think it's even...
It's different. It's almost like, I think, how people say the UK is now as well. It's like the national scene was probably the reason I moved back to New Zealand. It was so good. It was, you get like a day's practice, race day, and then race day was always a Saturday. There'd be a massive party whatever town you were in on Saturday night, and then you would just like go to the next venue.
I guess
it's just very, very fun.
Yeah.
And which I think now is, I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me as much because it's just like it's all a one day event.
Yeah.
It's probably really serious, like like you hear about the UK as well. So So what were you going to say?
But I guess the downhill stuff, it has been, even though like Enduro's added a lot, I guess maybe it's taken a few riders away from, like everyone had to race. It was either cross country or downhill. It was like the two mountain bike events you could compete in, because you hear of a lot, like you said, Brendan Semnick even started with cross country before transferring over, and I think it was the same if you weren't.
That's just what there was.
If you weren't one of them, whereas now Enduro's kind of bridged the gap, and it's
there's so many things to do, and that's why everyone's spread out as well.
And there was no trail centres then either, so like if you wanted to ride new and good tracks, you had to go to a race.
As well. That's right. You need to get and they'd almost build a track for a race.
Yeah. Which I guess is something we've tried to incorporate, is because obviously the bike park gets lapped out all the time, and so we'll try and make something or link a couple of tracks that you wouldn't necessarily ride normally.
Yeah, that last track you wouldn't even know it was in the bike park.
So I guess we put together what had been used for Crankworks, but that kind of came about from just a few kind of pirate trails which we've closed off in the past. So you can't ride them, and now
that's cool.
Now we open them up and then close them again for the next time.
Yeah, it was an awesome track. It felt like a proper a World Cup or something, because the track changed so much in the practice. Like
I say, we give it a good grubbing up and made it pretty. I guess just made it feel fresh, not so much bike park, which I think is key.
Maybe that's like the one. I don't know, because me and you, we sort of run the races like we want to race, and I think we don't have a financial incentive in it, so we just want to make it you want to make the tracks as good as possible, and I want to make the event as good as possible, but you're just keeping it fun. Maybe makes quite a difference to the outcome, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite a good little combo, I think.
Yes, even just always want to make the best tracks possible. I never even like the. I guess we've been doing it. I don't know, from day one. I guess the financial incentives never even occurs to me. Even what we make for the club, I don't think I've even asked you until now. Like I don't even care. Like I'd quite happily give it away for free if it wasn't for a fact it makes a lot of it does make like a good amount for the club, I guess, which is in the last few years forever, I guess, made like the network around here just grow and grow and grow.
It's awesome. It definitely goes to a good place and it gets used. Well, everyone who goes to the races rides, so it's in their interest. It's cool.
We'd have raised over 50 grand in the last since we started doing them in 2017.
We've had you actually told me that, well, I've seen a bit, but you've put a lot of stats together from 2012, which is pretty funny. Well, we've had quite a few big names racing in there, and then we've also had who's like some of the who have we had? We had Brendan Fairclough. Well, we've had like Eddie and Bernard Kerr.
Mick, we've had the Hannahs. Mick and Tracy have raced. Elliot Jackson's he'd done a few. Phil Atwell, Kent Gallagher, Alex Fale. Obviously, George Brannigan does a few when he's got time.
Which is quite. I tried to because did you ever try and race a World Cup as well?
No, I would have. There was a goal, but I just was never.
Because you did race it.
Kind of stopped racing, and I was probably never fast enough. That's why I want to do the Masters World Champs, because you don't have to qualify.
But you did race World Cups, didn't you, Pang? I was trying to race World Cups. I can't remember the year now, but when I was because I had to apply for a jersey because we don't get points, but I was trying to justify why I deserved a jersey. And trying to say look who we've got, because it's such a small local series, but I was look, we've got Phil Atwell racing, we've got Bernard Kerr and Eddie, and
he's beat Alex Fale at this one.
We've got all these top World Cup races, which are we were on the podium. Our podium actually has some World Cup podium guys on.
Did it work?
No. Didn't care.
Did you try qualify for one? Did you ever go to one?
No, because I couldn't. I just couldn't afford to get overseas and get to a race that would give me points.
Get your points, because it's hard to get points in the UK.
Not only that, I was looking. I think the best way to do it if you want points is to try and find a country somewhere in Europe, I guess, which doesn't have a huge national race scene.
Yeah.
And then jump onto that and then get those points. But one, I'm not very switched on when it comes to that stuff, and two, you just couldn't really afford to plan too much of a big trip around, because by the time I decided I wanted to do it, I was already living over here.
Yeah. Well,
And then so getting over there is obviously quite expensive.
Yeah.
And I was still working over here, so I had work commitments. So trying to get there and back in a reasonable amount of time, you could only do so much.
That's what me and my mates we did. We kind of travelled instead of raced, and then we had mates who raced and trying to get points and stuff, and then they just could never afford to travel
Yeah.
because they were racing. So it's kind of one or the other.
But yeah, it's not like there's not really. It's a shame. It's always that thing would have been cool, but
Yeah.
we've got it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's always the Masters.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. 35. We'll put it on the list of things to do.
Yeah, I thought something like when I went down this rabbit hole of looking at old results and things. Is in 2000, when was it? So yeah, in 2018, so from probably like 20. So we started in 2017 the series, and I looked back at some of the old series results from before we did it. But there was basically no juniors, so there was like there was an under 19 category and there was nothing else.
Yeah.
And there was 5 or 6 in that, and that was until like 2019, and then in 2000.
The biggest category now is probably like under 13s.
Well, yeah, and then what was it? Yeah, so there was hardly any, and then when was it? We started to see a lot of Groms was 2019, when we had 18 Groms. So and that's like under 17 and under. We had 18, and there was 2 in the under 13s in 2019, and then 2021 was like Attack of the Groms basically.
Oh yeah.
So it's only a couple of years ago, but it feels longer than that. But remember that first round we had?
Yep.
It was
Thingamajig, just single track.
Yeah, we had 52 under 17s.
52.
They made up 50% of the field. That was the biggest race tournament we'd ever had up till then. It was 110 riders and 52 were under 17.
Yeah, I think you guys and kind of what Emerson and the club's youth thing have done is just like blowing up Grommies, getting into it now. It's amazing. Like even go Wynyard or at the bike park, they're just everywhere and they're all ripping. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Dream Track.
Yeah, how young are they getting now? Like 10 years old.
Yeah. When we first got here, there was about 5 people in town who ride Dream Track, and if you went up there, it was like invite the town, everyone go and watch.
Watch,
yeah. And then ask about 4,000 questions. I'd be like ringing Pang. I'm like, so the third jump, what do you do again? It's like you brake a bit, pedal a bit.
Drag brake.
It's a different story now. And you got McGazafest. There's 100 people in a train.
Yeah,
wow.
I hate jumps where you've got to brake into them.
It was a bit like that.
I hate that. Yeah. I like jumps where you've just got to go as fast as you can and then you still come up a bit short.
Yeah.
Rather than a jump where you've got to brake and then you still overshoot it. I hate overshooting jumps. It's the worst.
Well, it's really difficult to judge your speed, isn't it? You just never know.
Especially when you start nosing it in and you watch the knuckle of the landing disappear and your legs start to straighten out, the nose goes down.
When you're braking, you're on the defensives as well, so you're not riding properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was funny back. Yeah, different story now. But the problem is, I think what Emerson does with the airbag and those mulch sessions and stuff.
Yeah, well, when did you update the Dream Track? That was like 2016, was it? And that's kind of when it changed and it did become a lot. Well, that's when you saw the numbers really turning up.
Yeah, it was a bit of a big group effort, I think. Led by Emerson and Connor. Yeah. Where they just lined up that Veolia sponsored the digger at 14.5 that gets used for a few things. And that was just up there for Christmas holidays, I think, 2015, 16, and I think Rion and Shane Mitchell and stuff and Connor and Emmy would cleared all the broom and stuff up there because it was just all trees and broom and and then I think I built the first drop and first 2 jumps, and then they'd clear a bit more and they'd come in and do the shaping and stuff. So it was a team effort. But it used to start at the 5th jump, the step up. Yeah. That was the start ramp. The landing was basically what you used to start. Yeah. And then it got extended 2 jumps up, didn't it? Probably in like 2000.
There were some hidden jumps there, right, beforehand. There's a couple of jumps that kind of grassed over, isn't there?
Well, they were there for a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
years
the
ago.
left hip before the step up was there. That was like there from the beginning, but never got used. And then there was there used to be that straight jump next to the old first right hip as well.
Yeah, but they were more just filming jumps.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then there was a road gap that I think only you, that really technical road gap, that jumped
That's
off
horrific,
step
yeah.
up that Pang did.
Yeah,
No one else fancied.
the pioneer.
Yeah.
Nath did it as well, Nath Greenwood, and then I think what was the
Did
guy,
you give
John-
Nath
someone
Greenwood,
else? Grant Allen.
Grant Allen.
He did it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you give him advice on what speed he needs to go into it?
Who?
Greenwood?
He might have done it first.
Oh yeah. Wouldn't want to listen to.
But oh man, like
to anyone.
I've still got a photo of that actually. I'm pretty sure like I headbutted my stem on the landing. Like it wasn't like a long gap, but it was quite high.
Yeah.
Like, so
And
you were like
it was a hip.
and you had
Yeah.
to turn off the lip as well. So I think like just because it was like more of a vertical drop than going out, that's always harsher.
You do like a big huck the fat though, don't you?
I mean I don't. But
Yeah,
I
Huck
everyone
Wizard.
thinks I do,
Does,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, the huck wizard.
yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is the huck wizard ever gonna? You've got him in communications. You ever talk to the huck wizard these
He's coming
days? Or?
back for sure. He'd better do.
Yeah, we always do. Yeah, he's like he wants to make an appearance again in Queenstown. He just in talks. Obviously, he's been stuck in Huckland with COVID, so
Oh yeah, they've been hit hard there.
he can't leave yet. He's in lockdown still. We're in talks.
Yeah, I think Dream Track. Yeah, it's gone through a few stages, and I think it's going to go change again. Hey, with Emerson's keen on finishing that last jump and
Yeah.
I think the bottom, because after we did that, rebuilt all the top, then Nathan rebuilt the bottom,
Yeah.
and then so I think it's gonna just keep evolving.
All it needs is a T-bar.
You probably doesn't need.
You just need a little uplift in there, and then it's
Yeah.
good to go.
Which honestly, well, if you did shuttle days on it, there's too many people now.
Yeah.
You used to do it, didn't you?
We used to show it.
yeah.
You've built. Going back to Tom, you also have built quite a few Seminox lines. Talking to big ones. Most recently, I guess, was the Glendu one. Is that you as well?
Yeah, midpoint. That one.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to come over for a trip,
Yeah.
and then hit us up and said, "Can you build us a few jumps?"
Yeah. But was that the first one you'd done, or have you done a few before that?
For him,
You do not help it, not bad.
yeah, a little bit, not bad. Yeah, that open loop with Brett Reeder, and then
Oh,
those
yeah.
3 jumps. Yeah, I was more shaping just on those jumps. I
Yeah.
think Morgs actually did the main machine work on them, and then
Because how does that come around when Brendan Seminox asking you to start building
I
jumps
guess
for it? How did that?
I guess it just stems from back in the day when in Whistler,
Yeah.
I'd ride with him a bit, and then those Rebel elevation jumps, we'd always just session them after,
Yeah.
in the evenings, him and Alex and
Did
me
you
and
ride them?
Yeah, they were awesome, hey, because I
Nice.
just built them for that Rebel elevation dirt jump comp, which was
Yeah.
like at the time pretty groundbreaking, and they just got left there.
Yeah.
I think the first year they were a bit spicy. They kind of were real steep, but then the next year they were, we used to ride them all the time. Hey,
So seeing him go from a Grom to what he is now, like, did that? When he first asked you to start building lines for him, was it hard? Because I guess he'd gone from that young 360 Grom to now Brendan Seminox. Was there a bit more
well, there's always
pressure,
with
bit
all
more-
that stuff, like in the crankwork stuff. There's a lot of pressure on getting it right.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, it's not very fun.
And even for him though, he seems like quite like a guy that knows what he wants. Or
Yeah.
does he bounce a lot of ideas off you? Or
No,
he comes to you with the
he
plan.
doesn't- No, he didn't. No, not even. He just said, build as much jumps, and well, not much feedback,
Yeah.
and so kind of a bit of pressure to get it right.
Yeah. And he doesn't give you any. He doesn't tell you what tricks he wants to try. Or,
No, and if you had that in mind, you'd know. I think I'm sure. Like every time you watch a video,
Yeah.
I'm like, he must do that, and they must have a real big conversation. But no, I've never had that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think for that Glendu one, he just wanted to come for a trip, and was like, that's a way of making it productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to do one where you were like properly involved, and you really had like an objective.
Yeah. Well, I think Brendan actually listens to this, so
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt they'll be on. Subscriber.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
But that line at Glendu is going to be made into a black line there.
Yeah.
Permanently, eh?
We just built I guess probably a grade 4 dark blue jump line
Yeah.
to the left of it. and that just opened last week.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, sick.
That's pretty fun. But yeah, so then the one next to it, that's going to be a black jump line, kind of follows that line. Of his.
Yeah.
They'll kind of get dumbed down a wee bit for trail bikes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to ride down there. And we're going to make it so you can. It's a pretty easy push up, so you can just session it. So I think Wanaka needs something that you can session
Yeah.
bigger jumps, because rather than everyone driving over here. So
Yeah. No, it's nice to expand that. I think a question I get asked a bit as well with obviously like Cadrona and Coronet opening up more. Like people always like think there's going to be competition between the bike parks, which I guess you kind of naturally would think that, but it's all it's done is made everything a lot better. Because how many places can you have? Like, you drive. It's an hour between Skyline and Cadrona, and then in between there you've got Coronet. And it's awesome. Like obviously in Europe and like Port du Soleil, you got heaps of chairlifts. Whistler the same. You got a number of chairlifts, but it's like.
No, it's pretty cool.
To
Yeah,
have
three lift decks,
and it only adds
bike parks within an hour of each other,
Mm.
and they all are different. Yeah, it's cool. I think Skyline's just so convenient being in town. Obviously, it's got the trees.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got to be hard to beat, but yeah, everything's got like building trails in the open is kind of hard because to keep variety.
Mm.
I know like everyone complains about flow trails getting built, but if you're building in the open, you kind of have to build to that style because otherwise they just blow up.
Yeah.
Like Coratown.
Well, you got to go sustainable.
Yeah, I know it's not boring, but if you're in the trees, you can go steep and rocky.
I guess as well, it's like
Padrona does a good job though from some tech.
Yeah, Cadrona's really good.
Yeah.
Cadrona has got way
rocks.
better in the last 3 years. Big time, yeah.
I didn't go up this year. I should have got up there. But.
Yeah, no, it gets better every year. Like I've rode it quite a bit, and I think as I really enjoy the events that Spy puts on there. I think he does a wicked job. And like the super fun, and each event's very different to the last as well. So they've got like the Peak to Pub. They had the I think it was like the 4-hour multi-lapper there. They obviously have the downhill, and I think they got an enduro there. They might actually have a few more, but if there's like events that people should do as well, that in Queensland, they should definitely go to Cadiz.
Yeah, they had a good series, didn't they? Have like super enduro, I already called it.
Yeah,
long distance ones,
and the tracks there are way different to what we got at Skyline, way different to Coronet. So
they've got good rocks. They've got good rocks, don't they? Which I think is good for the Alpine.
Yeah, and they've got good elevation as well. It's not as steep as what. It's probably an in between a Coronet and Whereas I think, well, at the bottom, not so much at the top.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favourite trails of track around the area is actually Long Black, which is they don't use a whole lot, but it's they normally use it in the national.
Okay.
And it's like one of the best, like 45 seconds of track I think in the whole area. It's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't want to crash up there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp rocks. Or if you do, you need metal armour on. Yeah, chainmail.
With your race series, would you ever go? Because you're doing them all up Skyline at the moment. Would you do them around spots?
The reason we do it is purely like because it's, we both work other jobs as well, so it's kind of like because it's just something we do in our spare time. It's really just convenient to hold races up there, like one just for permits and two for like people have got a season pass already, so there's no extra cost involved.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I mean, I get it. It would be kind of cool, but I think that could be maybe like a separate thing someone else could potentially take on because there are other good tracks to use. But I just kind of. It's kind of got to be easy to a certain extent to be able to keep it going.
It's a perfect place we've done it right.
Yeah.
No, all we need to do is add more weekends in the year, and then we're sweet.
Well, there's that as well.
Yeah.
Just need to take out more work days.
Yeah. If we had twice as many weekends in a year, there would be plenty of time for more races.
Yeah.
But yeah, the schedule's pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, originally that's what the down Queensland series was different venues, and then like they'd have different sponsors for each round and stuff like that. It's definitely like it's just logistics and time. It's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
That makes sense, and it's
everyone
knows where it is, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. You got any standout riders from this year that you
standout riders from this year?
Rider of the year?
Oh, easy. I think it's either Lewis Leard or Malik.
Yeah.
Both the young guns, but I think the last round especially. So is Lewis? He's a 12-year-old. Is he 11 still?
He's around about that. Yeah.
And he finished. Was it 15th?
Out
of the expert. Probably his overall. Yeah.
He would have won the Masters Kagger, and he would have been like, did he win Open Men as well? Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, ridiculous.
But you know how you get like when you're growing up, there's always like that freak of nature kid who was like a fully grown man at the age of 10. Lewis is not that kid. He is still
kid.
a kid, and he is faster than.
Yeah, he's got a good pedigree, I think, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
Dad's pretty quick.
His dad's a pretty ace motocross racer. And but he was a standout ride at the end for sure.
Has he got the most laps?
He's got the second most laps this year. He's got 600 and something laps.
Right.
Yeah.
Hard to compete
That makes
with.
sense, yeah. That's why I didn't win that. He got 30.
I think when I was riding at my best, it was the amount of laps you do. Like ride time is key.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
When we were in Whistler, it was just every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I don't know how many laps, but just all day, every day.
Yeah, and you just find that comfort at speed. Because I said it earlier, I was like, I only want to ride fast when I'm racing. But I think when that is your goal and you're riding all the time, that speed just becomes so comfortable and you get so acclimatized to that general pace. So when you do like just cranking out laps, and it wasn't even harder. I used to do like 16 laps every time I'd go up Skyline because there wasn't that big a queues, but I just didn't bother. I'll just pin it down and back up for another. And that's what Lewis is like at the moment. He's there. He can always do like 10 easy.
What's your like when you're planning out or you're thinking about the tracks for the series as well? Like, do you try and like start them, like make them progressively harder, or like is that kind of?
Yeah, I think the key thing is like if you could ride everything on the last track, you should be able to ride at least the easiest lines on the new track. And then if you once you've rode, if you miss a round, you might find it quite hard to jump back in, but. Yeah, if you could ride the last round, you should be able to ride the next round. And then even still, the easy lines from the last round, you should still be able to ride the next. Like, it might be a little bit of a step up, but it won't, like, the easier lines on the next round won't be as hard as the hardest lines on the last one, if you get what I mean. So, But again, if you're riding the bike park regularly, you should, again, over the course of the season, I feel like the progression...
It's kind of a single black level. There's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
If you can do a single black, seems like you can do most of the races there, which is good.
Because they get like hit up so often, like when they lead up to the races, people asking what it's going to be, and I'm not sure why it is, but people are quite nervous as to what it's going to be. The track is, and I know it does put some people off. Like you see the numbers dropping, as we go along through the rounds, but do you feel it's important that we do have that progression, obviously, because there's no point just making them all easy.
No, I think it's super important. So a thing I think about a lot is, again, thinking of these guys, the younger guys, which we want to see go to World Cup level. And I think for me, it's quite important also not to tell them the track beforehand. Yeah. Like they will have rode it in the past, but then if they get a week's practice or 2 weeks practice because I've told them, and then they go to a World Cup and then they only get, not only at a World Cup do you get like limited practice, but the time is so short, and then the track littered riders, and it changes a heap. So again, for those guys, I think that's I almost want to make it the practice kind of a bit harder. But again, you guys said earlier, if you wanted to go and ride a track when you were younger, you turn up. You just had to enter the race. You turned up. You didn't have a clue what you're riding until you got to the race venue.
And then you dealt with it.
And I kind of want the series to be a bit more like that as well. So it's like you don't know until you're at the race, but you've just got to have confidence that I'm not gonna. There's always going to be a B line, and it's.
It was at that last track. It wasn't hard to ride down it.
Yeah.
But probably if you took all the best lines, probably not super easy
to ride it fast. And we've gone back to the Sunday race. It used to be a Saturday race schedule. We've gone back to the Sunday. We'll let you know at least on the Saturday, so you can ride the track. And have a full practice day on a Saturday, and then it's official race practice Sunday.
Yeah, I thought that worked quite well.
Yeah, so I think for anyone that ever does get a bit nervous about those races, again, if it's nervous because you don't think you're going to do well on the track or well against your friends, I wouldn't. It's not the way to think. Like I've had last place in plenty of races, not necessarily because I might have had a puncture or something, but still I've had a last place before, and it's not a good feeling. But somebody's got to come last.
You're always just racing. Well,
I'd rather-
you guys are at the top of the classes, but usually everyone's kind of racing their mates,
Yeah.
which is a cool thing. You have a race within the race, eh?
But, yeah,
I
definitely.
thought that's been really good this year. Actually, is that I made an effort to make it have a series,
Yeah.
and that was great. Even like from my point of view, watching all the little personal battles going on between people, and I think it made more people do more races because of that, because they had rivalries going on, which was it was quite rewarding. I was really found that quite rewarding.
Jai
to
was
see.
super into it because he did he did real well, and he was like, he took it pretty seriously. I think
Yeah, it was wicked. Like, it was so cool.
Pretty fired up about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you've only... Like, when I first started racing, I was like... It was... The SGA series was my first main full series I raced, and I think I was finishing... I think the first race was maybe 14th place or something.
Yeah.
Which was probably about mid-pack, so it was quite big fields back in Scotland. But then... I can't remember where I finished up in the last race, but I remember the goal was just top 10. And to creep close to that every race was so rewarding. But again, it was... I didn't care. Like, you obviously always want to win.
Yeah.
But...
You gotta be realistic.
You just... Well, not even realistic. It's just racing's racing, Not... Only one person can win. You're going to... Especially in like individual sports, you're going to lose more than what you win. So if you're scared of losing, then you may as well quit now, because you're not going to win everything.
Yeah. Or looking stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter here.
It's like, I guess it's seen as a bit more of a serious. It is sort of a serious race series.
Yeah.
But I think we also want to try and make it quite inclusive and not scary for people to try it. I mean, it's a hard balance to find, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like.
It's downhill racing.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely. There's been a lot more people this year I've seen that have done it for the first time or have come back into it, which has been really great to see. But. Yeah.
I just wanted to do that last one just for the social, really. I didn't really care.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's what I think that's what we want it to be like. It's just like, and they are like that. They're very fun, aren't they? Like at the end of the day, everyone's hanging out talking about, making excuses of what happened in the runs. And it's like it's great.
They come out before you've done your run.
You sort of like, it's one of those sports you're like, you hate it at the time, but when it's over, it's like the best. And like we're all talking about it at the end of the day. It's great. And it feels it's really rewarding to have like completed your run and given it your best.
Yeah. Even when I've won races, I don't think I've always been satisfied, because there's always been something I've wanted to do a bit better, or somebody I've wanted to beat by slightly more.
It's a true champion.
And the worst part is you've got it all to lose. When you're second or third, you've got it. You
fall from the top.
Yeah, the only way is down from first place. It's good to be there, but
how do you feel about being an organizer and taking part as well?
I find that quite.
Difficult?
I way rather not be organising and racing, but
I think that with Crankworks stock sometimes. I'm like, man, I wish I could just go to one, not be involved.
Yeah,
but I think you'd miss it, being like a nobody, or not a nobody, but just being a part of the event rather than part of the event. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I love how social it is, being involved in an event.
Yeah,
that way
I think it's different. I think it's cool being involved.
But yeah,
we're both quite fairly competitive when it comes to the racing, though, because like I want to take part and do well. She did as well, but then we're also we're trying to run things as well. I find it quite stressful sometimes. Yeah,
with racing the track, that's actually quite. I feel like I sometimes get the worst prep out of anyone, because I'll try, even though, but naturally this is kind of like goes two ways, because obviously building the track, you naturally are looking at lines, but at the same time I'll make a track that I know that I'm not going to do well on, because I want the challenge, and then I'll turn up and I won't do very well, and I'm like, we should have gone down a different track. But I'll quite often, I think Ant's track this year was the one, I think a lot of people were ride that track regularly were put off by the lines I chose to take down, but that's because I pretty much taped off all the lines that I normally ride, because that's a track I know pretty well.
I think you have to do down there, because it could be one line.
Yeah. You were quite fired up for that one, to do well at.
I was actually quite nervous, and I was quite happy with actually how it went. I still feel, could always do better. I think I got maybe fourth in my category, which was kind of annoying to be off the podium again, but that was the one I was actually happiest with, because I actually felt quite nervous. But I only felt good on Ants. Felt rubbish down Bubba. I wish we had split times at that one, because I think I did well at the top, rubbish at the bottom. But I think I enjoy turning up to a track not knowing what to do and having to pick it apart. So that's the aspect I actually don't like so much about building the track, is I like being I like having to discover a new track and trying to figure it out in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But it definitely is a bit of an advantage, I think, whether I like it or not, or even if I try not to make it.
I think, if you build a track, I find you can ride it so much better.
Oh yeah,
You just know every bit of it.
Yeah. I try so hard, but you just naturally you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop me from getting beaten by a lot of kids.
Getting grommied.
We've got. Do you follow the World Cup much anymore, Tom?
Yeah, I watched them all. Yeah.
What do you reckon going into Fort William? Who's your guys' picks? Have you got a pink black fantasy team?
No,
you're not that.
With
You
that,
will,
but-
Pang.
I do, yeah. But I
Isn't-
always just do absolute rubbish with it.
Emery seems to be back, doesn't he? He's just an
Yeah.
absolute maniac. Yeah, he seems. If he doesn't crash, like it's pretty scary watching him ride. If he crashes, it's
Yeah.
not very nice. But when he's on it,
I'm gonna pick him.
Can't be
Yeah.
beat, can he? Like Leger, like
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And he won Fort William as well
Yeah.
a few years ago.
He's always.
Him or Minar.
Yeah. You're going for Minar as well.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh no, there's heaps of them.
I said Laurie, but I think that's also because I want to see him
Yeah.
win.
There's Reece Wilson too. Surely he's
Yeah, he's got to be a favourite.
Yeah, no, downhill racing's awesome to watch. Hey, it's like even though it's such a simple format. And
Yeah.
fastest person down. It's always good.
I think it's definitely getting to that. It always quite often gets compared to the F1 of the sport, but I feel with the times now coming down,
Yeah, it totally is.
it's definitely getting closer and closer to that
Yeah.
pinnacle. I think, and that have you watched Drive to Survive?
Yeah, no. it's
And
good.
when they're driving the cars and that, and they're going at 200 miles an hour around the corner, and they're just saying how the car's undrivable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he comes in like 100th of a second off the guy who said this car's awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel like downhill's almost the same when somebody's picking the bike apart, and you're like,
Yeah, well, it's
you
yes.
see what you just went down? Your bike's mint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's down to the rider, isn't it? But it's
Yeah, it is such
pretty
a
wild now. It's getting
Okay.
a little bit scary watching some of the runs, like Greenland and Amory. It's just like absolutely wild.
But I think, again, even like Sam Hill, Valdesol, and there's always been runs that have been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Aaron Gwynn. He's somebody I'd quite like to see.
I'd love to see him come back. Hey, I think he's still. I think he was at the top of the game, and the game did move up a bit.
Yeah.
I think with Bruni and who's the wee French guy?
Loris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys just got. I think they actually went faster, and he kind of stayed the same. But
Mm.
it'd be good to see him.
But I think
get up
injuries
there.
and
Injuries, and he's probably not too young, is he anymore?
Oh, he's still probably younger than Greg Minnaar.
True. Yeah.
I think one of the wildest runs I've seen recently is Jai, actually, at the second round of the Ridemore series.
Yeah, probably.
And that Fundy bit.
Yeah.
Like, I did not know he was that fast. He was absolutely
He's quite reckless.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't believe. I was quite impressed. Just bouncing his way, just hanging on.
He's got a
Did
bit
you
of
see that? Like,
racing
Yeah, I saw the
fast,
videos after
it was
coming through
absolutely
the,
like just insane.
and he does like a good ciggy after a race as well, which is awesome to see.
I might have one at the top.
I think bring back the cigarette sponsors in racing. Clearly sports enhancing.
Yeah.
It's a pretty classic photo of him with his top off, and was that the last race?
Yeah, in the last race. Yeah. It wasn't World Champs. It was the Hobbit
the
race.
Hobbit one,
Yeah. Took his top off. Got a bit jiggly down the track.
That was great. Like, I just thought Jai was just a hooker. Like, just like
No,
someone
he
who
used to
just
race,
says
I
it,
think, a
but
lot in Aussie.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
pretty cool.
yeah, I think anyone who's a good bike rider is a good bike rider.
Yeah.
I think it's whatever they focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what people always talk about, like Reader and Seminark. If you could watch them, if they'd race downhill, how well they go. Hey,
Yeah,
it'd be
I would like to
interesting.
see
it's
Reader.
actually train for a full winter.
Reader came and raced the chainless McNeely's
Oh,
McGazza race a few years ago.
I remember that.
What did
He-
you get? Third
no
or fourth?
No,
practice.
he won it.
No,
He won it, never in the track. On his
No,
downhill
he
bike.
didn't-
he was
didn't-
second or
Oh,
something.
didn't he?
Yeah,
Sure
and
he
Couscous won or something.
Couscous won, yeah.
Yeah.
But Couscous was like Couscous like wiped the floor of his, but he was full lycra and
Oh, that's
he's
right,
just
yeah.
fast anyway.
But Brett was on his downhill bike,
Yeah.
29er,
First
never in
run.
the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, fourth place straight up. Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe faster.
That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Which says a lot about how good those
Yeah.
freestyle guys are when it comes to like downhill and technical riding.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah. Now they can all ride a bike. Yeah. It's I think this is the next level, isn't it?
We'll probably just rattle on for a bit, so we'll probably just wrap her up. But we always, I don't know. How do we sign out? You, so what are you up next? You say you're off to Cairns
Cairns, yeah. We're building an extension on the Zoot track at the moment.
and Zoot. What's it?
That's
Got the
going.
name of that one?
Don't know yet. There was a couple of suggestions, but
Still waiting on the name.
But now we're just so that climbs a bit. Right before it drops down to the bottom of the Zoot, it climbs up a bit and then goes down.
Yeah.
Another K1/2, so that'll be cool.
So you've still got plenty of, even though you've got the Queenstown network this far, there's still plenty of network to.
Oh yeah,
to add to it.
There's still a few key plans to go in. It'd be nice to get something from Kelly's Bench over towards 7 Mile High.
Yes,
Open up
absolutely.
that whole hill, yeah, but it's just
I've had a look in there.
We have a private land issue. That's hopefully gonna get sorted one day. But.
Have you heard of any like local projects? Because that money that we've got from the series this year, I'd like really like it to go towards a trail.
Oh yeah.
So like just that lump sum goes towards building like a hand-built it's a bit of single track. I mean, it probably won't get that much, but like maybe there's a connector needs doing.
Yeah,
that you hear about,
that's actually
we
an
actually
awesome
put
idea, because
rather than it just disappearing into the void, it's like
yeah, no,
Actually
I
goes
don't know.
towards
I think
something.
that obviously there's been a bit of money pumped in the last few years, but I think that's slowing down a bit now. So
yeah.
it's definitely everything helps.
So
There's a lot. Yeah, the club has a lot of plans of trails, but it's just a lot of it's the permission and access and stuff. Is what slows it down. Private land or council seem to be a bit slow at the moment, and dock are always dock. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there is plans. It's just money like that, because obviously the funding that's been going on the last few years isn't going to last forever. So.
Yeah, and it should be businesses like Skyline stepping up and getting more out there, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's a good time to be a mountain biker in Queenstown, I think. And
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of stuff happening, but I think we're still way off other places. So plenty of trails to build. And then Willie from the Trails Trust, he's onto it too. He's like got his cross country plans. And
it's important to just do us though as well. We don't have to try and live up to anywhere else. It's like
no.
Do Queenstown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
but
like you say.
But there's definitely a few links that need to go in that.
Yeah.
We just make the whole network.
Yeah,
better.
Queenstown is the Queenstown of the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah.
Queenstown of Otago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hate that competitive thing, hey, when people say the trails are the best. Nowhere's the best, they're all different. You can't compare here to Moab or something.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Yeah.
One of the best, did you guys ever meet Tristan Tunstall? He used to, I think he's friends with Tim Church, but he used to be the manager of the Steve Pitt Syndicate team.
Oh, that's right.
And he once had I saw somebody asked him what his favourite trail he's ever rode was, and his answer was, I don't know, I've never built it yet. Which I thought was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, well, you can never have a favourite trail. I always think of like top three, but it's not usually a top three trail, it's a top three ride, I think, like how the ride was. Yeah,
who you're with and everything. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you could have your top three ride on a crappy trail, but just the ride was amazing.
Yeah. And then so you, Pang, moving forward, we've got what's next? We stepping up the series next year. Training for Masters.
I don't know. Usually we'll talk about it 2 days before the first one. Probably.
He's training for expert.
Yeah. Come back down.
He's got to get out of my class.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, it just is what it is. But there's always little things we do to change it every year.
Yeah. The Vertigo Syndicate coming out soon.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like with our series, I think with a lot of stuff that I do actually, it's like I don't really look at what other people do or what other people expect. It's just like, I mean, I don't actually know what other race series do in terms of disorganizing and things like that. I think we just do what we do, and if and try and make it as good as we can, really. And I think it's just keep progressing that. Like I say, I feel like that's the same with Vertigo as well. I never really care what anyone else is doing. It's just do the best job you can and do what makes you happy. So the same with the race series. It's probably like everyone seems to love it, but maybe it looks a bit, I don't know what's the word, unconventional at times with how we do it. But
no, I think it keeps it's a good model.
Yeah, I mean it just keeps it fun, and doesn't it? It's like
I'm sure some of the bigger races could wish they could be unconventional too.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. It's just like it's just
absolutely.
Yeah,
With self-seeding. Yeah, the riders almost know what to do now. You don't even have to tell
I
them.
know, it's
They
like
just
5
turn
years of training them. They're almost there.
Well, the enduro races you help with are amazing. You don't even have to have anyone at the start. You just turn up and go.
Yeah, I mean that's the timing system that.
Yeah, that
got,
was
which
a
has been
massive step, hey, because from the old stop watching.
Yeah, because we used to have Amy Bala, Hells, Indri, and Amy Friedman were the timing. That was the timing team for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just with stopwatches, so they were key
They're
to
pretty
that
dialed.
initial part of the downhill series and scene here. Yeah, and I think there was a bit of a gap, and then that's when we kind of stepped in and took it on, because I think everyone has their kind of time doing stuff, so I think we saw that gap then when.
Yeah, it was around that time like, I wanted to race World Cup, so it was a bit selfish for me. It was just a way for I could keep training for racing.
And I wanted to
If
keep
nobody
racing
else-
as well,
yeah.
for sure, yeah.
So it was the only way there would be a race series.
Yeah.
Was if I organised one. So that's how me and you got together.
Yeah, because I've never. I think it's been a year of my life since I was about 18 where I've not raced, so it's like I just wanted to keep it going, and it's pretty rewarding now seeing all the kids coming through, and I think it's really important to have these races now for them. And then that camp that Eddie and that did was pretty awesome this year too.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks ago. I put what you said about having the tracks. So like the kids don't know and they've got to try and learn them quickly. Eddie was saying that like one of his things is that you need to be able to basically be at race pace after 5 runs.
Yeah.
That's what he was telling them at that camp, which I thought was quite interesting. So you have to be at a World Cup pace in 5 runs. That's about as much time as you've got at these
Jesus.
events.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
So yeah.
I think I'll get slower at run 5.
I think I
start about as fast
4 or
as I'm
5
gonna go.
around. I think that's when I peak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like it'd be really cool to see where that goes. I think that's like the next evolution of everything, and like is having those kind of performance camps down here with those guys. So I think it was a bit of a kind of see how it goes this year, and then building it for the next few years. But quite excited to hopefully help out with that.
Absolutely.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
Well.
But yeah. What about you? Do you see it? What do you see? How do you see it all going in the next few years? With the
I'm rubbish at looking at the future.
Is there anything you'd like
I
to
just
do
live for
different?
now.
For the moment.
Anything you'd like to do different?
If there's anything I could do different,
Get someone else to organise it.
get someone else to organise the race.
Rig the results.
Yeah. Make sure my name's at
I'm
the
always
top all
open
the
to a
time.
bribe,
No, honestly, I think no, I got no plans. I think this place has changed me more than anything else has, and I think it's also those guys that keep coming from overseas that are, frothing and changing it, and
looking forward to seeing who comes.
and that's what makes it so good, really. So.
And that's what I want. I want to make the Walk to the World Champs a UCI affiliated race where you can get UCI points.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's a good aim. That'd be cool.
when we go back.
That'd be cool.
Then we'd
yeah.
definitely-
No idea what that involves.
Yeah, and then we can limit
it's easy.
entries for
Then
that
we
one,
just
so
put
I
the
can get my
logo on
points.
So we've got to like work the system, Jimmy.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Having a little system, you can get the Grommies to get a UCI point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's probably you probably have a lot of prize money and stuff like that. But
No way. Vertigo vouchers and a free trail dig day with Tom.
Yeah. Well,
I guess like just like say thanks to all the people that helped out as well this year. There's loads of marshals. Matty Barton has he's been at every round this year. He's the number 1 marshal. And obviously Gnomes is always there every race helping out on the start line.
Yeah.
And
Big shout out to Gnomes. She's there from start to finish.
a little trooper.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without her help for sure. Even though she thinks she doesn't do anything, just having sort of more people there just helps with like de-stressing the day really. Having more people the better, so that's great. And then Perrin as well, obviously with the first aid, and then all you boys for the tracks. It's brilliant. So and thanks to all the boys at the shop as well, because they get. I think the race weekends are quite stressful in the shop because like there's lots of people going in for last minute fixes. So
I've had to go down there twice in the last 2 races to fix like punctures and stuff before my race run.
So then that's great, and because they like to race, like a couple of the boys all race as well, like Tim does it and Rob and Casey, so we sort of juggle it a bit to make sure they can do it without getting too stressed in there. But yeah, if it wasn't for them being so understanding and helping out on those weekends, like it probably wouldn't. Yeah, it would actually make things a bit harder. So yeah, thanks to those boys because they're brilliant. So, but yeah, that's about it.
Wicked. All right then. Thanks, fellas. We'll do it
Cheers,
again
Jimmy.
sometime.
Thanks for having us. Good yarn.